manual, stabilize, auto, in 3, 2, 1, kocok. Itu kenapa? Auto land ya?
Merhaba, my name is Roswaikar Syaramaswala as a team captain of Leonardo Ro from 10 November Institute of Technology Surabaya. So, let me introduce you to my team.
Hello, I'm Bintang. Hello, I'm Adit, and we are from Mechanic of Leonardo team.
Hi, my name is Fahmi, and I'm responsible for the electrical system.
Hi, my name is Mazaya and I'm responsible for electrical system.
Hello, my name is Hilman and I'm responsible for ground control system in Leonardo team.
My name is Farel Ganendra, and my name is Gusti Gradian, and we are the programmer of Leonardo team.
My name is Christopher as a non-technical staff of Leonardo team.
Hello, my name is Yusuf Zahawi as a pilot of Leonardo team.
In the design and development process of our fixed-wing UAV aircraft Leonardo, we carry out several optimization and dimensional adjustment to achieve optimal durability and weight. The following is an overview of our aircraft. The technical drawing of the Leonardo fixed-wing aircraft from our team are shown with all orientation view. This aircraft feature a low-wing configuration, which enhances roll maneuverability and top speed. Additionally, a VTOL configuration was chosen for its simplicity and effectiveness in accomplishing mission objective. As shown, the overall length of our aircraft body is 1035 mm. The body includes a plywood structure that serves as a reinforcement frame. In addition, the VTOL configuration is set 120 degrees angle, which helps stabilize the aircraft during sharp turns. The tail also features a 3D printed structure that function as both reinforcement and a modular tail mounting system. A dimensional change was also made by extending the body length by 6 cm. In addition, there was an internal structural design optimization, where the original design was modified into the new one. This was done to optimize the overall weight. Next, for detailed wing, it can be seen that we are using a wing with a wingspan of 1400 mm, a chord length of 300 mm, and the airfoil type is NACA 2312. Additional design elements were also implemented to support mission execution, such as the payload dropper mount, which underwent a configuration change. Initially located on the left and right side of the wing and penetrating through it, the mount is now positioned beneath the center wing. As shown in the previous image, the following is the latest version of the payload mounting system. We also optimized the camera gimbal design. Initially, it featured a two-axis system with a thick casing, but it has now been simplified to a single-axis system with a more lightweight casing. The change was made to optimize the overall.
Moving on, the mass distribution of this aircraft was analyzed by directly calculating the center of gravity using calculator, and both the CG and the aerodynamic center was determined. The theoretical AC was found to be 73.87 mm from the wing leading edge, while the CG was 96.86 mm from the same reference point. However, the value used as a reference for placing the electrical component was the practical AC, which is 65 mm from the leading edge, due to the aircraft's aerodynamic design that tends to be slightly nose down when facing headwind. From this aerodynamic center, we can determine the mass distribution through the balance table we have created. For the weight of every component of electrical part can be seen in this table. The final total weight of all electrical component and the overall design, including the payload, was initially 2,662.58 grams and has been reduced to 2,302 grams, resulting in a weight optimization of approximately 360 grams. In addition, the following is the design and progress of our storage box that will be used during the implementation of the fixed wing competition.
For the fuselage manufacturing, we use polyfoam as the main material due to lightweight and easy setting. Tape was applied along the outer surface to improve structural durability. Fuselage was precisely cut using a laser cutter based on CAD design. The final length of the fuselage used by Team Leonardo is 1035 mm. Inside the fuselage, we install a polywood frame that significantly increases rigidity and provides resistance against impact during landing. The internal chamber layout was redesigned from the previous version to reduce unnecessary weight. Hot glue was used for bonding polyfoam section, while G-glue was applied to secure the plywood frame, ensuring strong and reliability joints across the structure.
For the modular VTEL system, we use polyfoam as the main structural material, supported by 3 mm carbon spar tube for more rigidity. Additional components include plywood for internal reinforcement and PLA plus 3D print for mounting structure. To bond material, we apply Astro glue for all polyfoam joint and hot glue for connection involving plywood or PLA plus. The VTEL is actuated by two servos, each controlling the left and right tail surface independently. The entire tail assembly is modular, mounted using 3 M3 bolts, allowing for fast installation and easy disassembly during maintenance or transport.
The wing manufacturing began with selecting airfoil. The airfoil using NACA 231 Pro airfoil, the material used was 5 cm thick styrofoam. After drawing the wing projection, the foam was shaped using a hot wire cutter into 3 segments, left, center, and right. After shaping, each segment was filleted joining using Astro glue and wrapped with tape for added stiffness. A spar tube was installed along the center of gravity to strengthen the structure. A 300 mm by 50 mm aileron was cut 45 angle for servo actuation. The center segment includes a plywood mount for modular attachment to the fuselage, along with a pilot bay beneath it. The pilot mount is made from PLA plus 3D print material and equipped with two servos for the dropping mechanism. In addition, there are two servos installed on the aileron control surface, one servo for the gimbal, and two servos for the rudder flutter in the VTEL configuration. The landing gear is made from styrofoam measuring 18 cm by 5 cm by 5 cm. It's set to reduce landing damage, sanded for the better aerodynamic, reinforced with tape and mounted to the wing using double-side tape.
For the mission mechanism, we use servo system as a latch for the payload, as illustrated for the following animation, with detailed dimension provided in subbab video design and sizing.
For the mission mechanism, the UAV is going to fly in a predetermined mission, and while it's doing that, it's going to accumulate a lot of detection, and it's going to calculate the target position based on the current GPS data and also the detection. And then when the mission is completed, it will create a new waypoint, as you can see here. There you go, it creates a new waypoint, and when the plane goes to that waypoint, it will drop the payload.
At first, a propeller is mounted on a BLDC motor. This BLDC motor is connected to an ESC with a maximum current rating 60 amperes. This ESC is then connected to an 80 ampere fuse that integrated with a switch as a safety feature. This fuse is directly connected to the power module. As the power source, we use a Li-ion battery, which is then connected via an XT60 splitter cable to distribute voltage to the primary components and to supply power to the mini PC. And next, for the flight controller, we use the Pixhawk 60 Mini. The PWM pins on the flight controller are configured with the right aileron that we set as a right flaperon, and also the left aileron is set as a left flaperon. The elevator and rudder pins are configured as the right VTEL and left VTEL. We also have a GPS module that connected to the GPS 2 port. For the radio communication and telemetry, we use Radio Master Express LRS receiver that we connected to Telem 2 port. Additionally, the servo pins are also connected to servo for the camera gimbal and the servos for the payload drop mechanism. For the mini PC, we take power from the battery, which is connected in parallel using an XT60 splitter cable. This XT60 splitter cable is connected to a DC to DC step-down module, with the output voltage set to 12 volt to power the mini PC. For the communication between the mini PC and the flight controller, we use USB to USB-C cable, and for the connection to the camera, we use a USB cable. For the video transmitter system, we connect the mini PC to an HDMI to AV converter, which is then connected to a 5.8 GHz video transmitter that will transmit the signal to the FPV monitor on the ground. And here's the detailed wiring diagram of our avionic equipment. And here's the list of change and list of additional avionic components that not included in the initial PPR.
To give the UAV the ability to recognize the target, we use YellowV8 Small that we train on our own custom dataset on RoboFlow. And here are some of the results of the detection. To integrate all that, we use a ROS-based system where there is one node that are responsible to be a wrapper of our object detection model and also responsible for calculating the position of the target every time there is detection. This calculation is done by creating a vector that points from the camera of the drone to the target itself. And then we knew the height of the UAV, so we project that vector until it hits the ground, since we knew the target position are always on the ground, assuming that the ground is flat. After that, we add that position with the vector of the current position of the UAV, so we got the exact coordinate of the target. Of course, there is going to be a lot of false detection due to model inaccuracy, bad GPS data, and also bad barometer data. We can filter them out by determining the centroid of all the detection, and then simply take out the detections whose distance are over a certain threshold from the centroid. And then we create a new centroid from the filtered data, and that centroid is going to be the absolute position that we choose. Then we convert that to a global positioning coordinate system, so we can send it as a waypoint to the flight controller. We achieve this by using MAVROS, a ROS package that let us talk to the flight controller, which uses the muffling protocol, simply using ROS messages and also services.
We tested the wing by placing the full aircraft on 2 chairs at the wing tip. It held the 1.6 kg weight without issue. The modular tail also passed tensile ties, extending up to 100 Newton, more than enough for fixed wing flight.
A thrust test was conducted using a static test bench to evaluate the performance of the propulsion system. We measured the current consumption using digital wattmeter and the generated thrust using scale that showed in the table, with battery consumption written down. In subsystem test for ground control surface, we test to verify that each the control surface responds accurately to the given commands. First, in manual mode, we ensure the correct response during roll, yaw, pitch, and flap. Then we tested the stabilized mode where the system automatically adjusts the control surface to maintain level flight based on sensor feedback.
In conducting aerodynamic analysis on the aircraft we are developing, we perform testing using 2 software tools. For the simulation, we test the airfoil by running a simulation from an alpha angle of -20° nose down condition to +20° nose up condition. Through the software, we can find the values of coefficient of lift, coefficient of drag, and coefficient of moment. After the simulation is done, we can see the graph and the result of our simulation. These results are then exported as shown in the following image. It can be seen that the data shows the values of CL, CD, and CM for different alpha angle of variation. From the data, we process it in Excel, and we found the comparison of CL/CD against variation in alpha angle. It can be seen that the aircraft is capable of pitching up to more than 20 degrees, with the best lift to drag ratio occurring at an angle of 7 degrees. Then, to understand the actual flight condition of the aircraft during gliding, we used Fluent simulation. From the simulation, we can find 3 things: the coefficient of lift, the coefficient of drag, and the lift force generated by the aircraft during gliding. The result of the simulation can be seen in this figure.
This is our calculation data for power consumption in our UAV. The second data table is from our calculation based on the body and the motor itself from our UAV. And the last, this is the real data from our latest test flight as it's shown on the table data below.
For the connection method of the avionic equipment to the chassis, first, the propeller and BLDC motor are mounted onto the chassis using balsa wood as the base. And for the components placed on the chassis floor are secured using Velcro to ensure both stability and avoid the vibration. And for the camera gimbal, we use a custom 3D printed mount that is attached to the balsa structure of the chassis. And the servos are also mounted using a custom 3D printed bracket. And for the components mounted on the inner walls of the chassis are secured with foam tape for shock and vibration damping. We use a carbon tube as the locking mechanism for the modular connection between the wing and the fuselage. For the circuit breaker, we use an 80 amperes fuse that integrated with a switch that can be easily pressed from the outside the chassis. The fuse is connected to the ESC and the power module that directly connect to the battery.
And now it's time for the VELSA system test, where the aileron will full right, all up altitude, and cut off the throttle on the auto mission.
Arming. Manual. Stabilize. Auto.